Hello. Many stories about Jesus talk about him teaching people and people coming to him to ask him questions. One day when he was in a group of people, there was a lawyer who came, a religious lawyer who came to him. And I think he may have been trying to trick Jesus, but he said, Jesus, what is the greatest of all the commandments? And Jesus said, well, what do you think is the greatest of all commandments? And the lawyer said, well, it's to love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind, and to love your neighbor as yourself. And Jesus said, you've spoken well. That's correct. That's what I would agree with. And the lawyer then said, but Jesus, who is my neighbor? We think about our neighbor being the person who lives next door to us, the people we go to school with, or the people that we go to church with, or the people that we, go out to dinner with, and our friends. Those are our neighbors. That's what we think about. And Jesus wanted us to realize that it was more than that. So he told a parable, and a parable is a story that teaches a lesson. And so he told the parable about a man. And this man was a Jewish man, and he was going from Jerusalem down to Jericho to do business of some sort. And so he had his stuff, and of course, as we've talked about before, in those days you couldn't get in the car and go, or take a bus or a train or a plane. You had to walk, or maybe you might be able to ride a donkey. So the man was traveling along the road by himself, and the Bible said along came some thieves, some robbers, and they beat the man up, and they took all of his stuff, and they maybe even take part of his clothes, and they left him laying on the side of the road as though he were dead. They just left him there. The poor man, what was he going to do? And it wasn't long before along came a priest who was going towards Jerusalem. And he saw the man, but he was thinking to himself, if I touch him, he's been beaten up, and he's bleeding, and he's yucky, and I won't be able to do my priestly duties because I'll be unclean, and I'll have to go through that process again. And so I really can't help him. Somebody else will be along soon. And so off he went to go on to Jerusalem. And soon another man came along. And this man was a Levite, who was probably a religious man, but a man of wealth, or of knowledge. And he saw the man, but he was kind of busy, and he had an appointment, and he was afraid he'd be late, and he was too busy with what he was doing today and what he had to do, and he just didn't have the time to stop and help the man. And he thought, well, he's probably already dead anyway. And so he went on, and he left. Was it very good, was it? And then along came a Samaritan. Now the Samaritans and Jewish people did not get along with each other. They were from different areas of that land. They were from different countries. And the Jews felt like the Samaritans were unclean, and they wouldn't have anything to do with them. You didn't talk to Samaritans. You didn't do anything with them. You didn't eat with them. You didn't do anything with them. You just stayed away from them. They were bad people. But this Samaritan came along, and he saw the man that was hurt. And the Bible said, and Jesus in his story said, that he took the man and he washed his wounds, and he took care of them, and then he put him on his donkey, and he took the man to a close by, to the next town, to the inn, the hotel that was there. And the Bible says that when he got there, he and the innkeeper took care of the man. They probably washed his wounds and bandaged him up, maybe called a doctor if there was one available. And the next morning, the Samaritan said, I need to go about my business. I have things I have to do. But here's some money, so please take the money and take care of him and do whatever he needs. Whatever he needs, please take care of it. And when I come back through on my next round, I'll stop. And if you've used more than the money I've given you, then I'll give you whatever whatever I owe, or whatever the man owes. But take care of him until he's better and can go on his way. This, Jesus said, to the lawyer. He said, "So who was the neighbor in the story?" And the lawyer said, "It was the Samaritan." And Jesus said, "That's right." You see, Jesus wants us to realize that he wants us to be nice to everybody, no matter if they're like us or not. Now, we have to be careful. We don't do silly things. We have to be cautious. But at the same time, we should be kind to other people. That means, for some of you, that means when you're at school, play with everybody, not just the people who are your best friends. If you see someone who's sitting out and maybe nobody wants to play with them, let them join in and play with you. They may be different than you, but think of the things you might learn from them and the experiences, and they may know some better games than what you already know. So it's always good to remember that Jesus wants us to be kind to all people, to be nice. It doesn't cost anything to give a smile, to say hello, to give good wishes to people. And sometimes as we get older and we realize people's needs, to be able to meet those needs that they have, to give them food or to give them money for rent or just help somebody out. That's what it means by being a good neighbor. And that's what Jesus wants us to do. It's very important. I hope you enjoyed the story today. I hope you have a good week and take care, and I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.